I was making $13,000 a year. The offer is almost 4 times what I have in my bank account. I was done having to see my mom struggle all the time. I want to share a story, and this story will probably trigger you. The trigger, how many have ever been triggered before? Where somebody says something or does something and it triggers you and you're like, oh, uncomfortable. Okay, the trigger is the transformation. The trigger is the transformation. When you get triggered and you stuff it, you're missing out on a gold mine. You're missing out on a gold mine. Is it okay if I share a story with you that triggered me and completely changed my entire life and helped me make millions of dollars? Is that cool? Okay. Some of you are down with that? Some of you? Okay. All right. Turn to somebody next to you, give them a high five and say, I'm ready to get triggered. Turn to somebody else, give them a high five, say, I want a transformation. Okay, awesome. Okay, so back about 10 years ago, I was making $13,000 a year. I just got married to my beautiful, amazing wife, and we lived in Branson, Missouri, and I wanted to, anybody been to Branson? A couple people? All right, yeah, Branson. And so I was there, and I wanted to make money as a provider, but I had some money issues in my tissues. And I was a massage therapist, so I knew about that, but I didn't know how to help myself. And in the moment, I knew I had a calling, but I didn't really know what that calling was. Anyone ever been in that area where you're like, I think I got a message. I know I have something to share, but I don't really know what it is yet. Like its full potential, right? And I'm at this event, pretty broke, because I just decided I'm leaving massage therapy, and I am going to go make millions of dollars. And yeah, that sucked. And so that was my decision, though. I decided I'm going to do this. And I'm at this event, this guy's speaking, and he does a big pitch, and the offer is almost 4 times what I have in my bank account. And I remember I'm standing in the back. I'm kind of one of the back, I used to be one of the back sitters. And I was in the back, kind of just like, and then I feel something inside. I'm more stubborn, so when God talks to me, sometimes I don't think I listen very well. But this was one of those times that I listened, thankfully. And I'm in the room, and he does his pitch. He's like, okay, get up, stand up, go to the back, and go do this thing. And I was getting triggered with all my money issues, and I was like, I don't have any money. And then this voice, which forever changed how I think about money, entered into my mind. And it said, because I needed it, right? I needed this thing that he was offering. I needed it, and I knew I had been led, and I was trying to follow God, and that was my whole mission in life, was try to follow God and do what was right. And this guy's offering this thing, and I'm like, I need this thing, but I'll do it later when I have the money. And then the voice said, who are you going to serve? Who are you going to serve? And I thought, of course I'm going to serve you, God. Like, that's what I'm here for, right? And he said, who are you going to serve? Money or me? And I thought, like, it was weird because everybody was like running to the back doing all this stuff. And here I'm like broke, and I'm like, I want this, but I can't do it because I'm so scared. And what if I don't make it? And what if I do this and it fails and then I'm bankrupt and I go to, what if my wife doesn't eat any food and we don't have any money and then she's pregnant already and she doesn't have any income, and what am I going to do? I'm going to be in debt, and my parents said don't get into debt, and I'm like, and debt's evil and money's evil and everything's evil. And I just had all these negative thoughts. And I was like, I just need help. And the thought said, who are you going to serve? Money or me? And in that moment, I remember tuning in and quieting those allergies and addictions. I didn't know that's what they were at the time. But those allergies and addiction, I said, I'm here to listen. Tell me, and I'll act. And then this scenario played in my mind. If you choose not to do this, Tyler, because you don't have the money, you're following money. And I thought, what? What? He said, all of a sudden it was like everything in my life hit me, and it said, my entire life, I have been serving money. I have been serving money because I made my decisions based on, do I have it or not? It was not a faith-based decision. Faith is acting on things that you cannot see, that you do not know are even possible. And in that moment, I had a breakdown of faith and a reframe around money. Because I love my mom, I love my dad, they're amazing. But in that moment, I had learned that I was serving money most of my life. I was serving money because the decisions I made from money were based on lack and despair. And I didn't want to live that way. How many know what it's like to feel that, where you're just living out of despair and lack, and you know that there's something deeper inside, but you don't have the answer yet? That was me. But I knew for things to change, because somebody said this, for things to change, I must change. And I was like, I'm so messed up. I just need help. I didn't know what to do. But I quieted my mind and I listened. Who are you going to serve, money or me? And this thought came, if I had enough faith, I could create things that I don't even know how to create. And the scripture came to my mind. I'm not very good at memorizing scriptures, but I remember stories. And I remember about a time where Jesus had a disciple who needed to pay taxes and didn't have the money. And what did he say to him? Go catch the fish. And what did he do? Caught the fish? Money. And I thought, well, if he had enough faith for that, I just don't have enough faith. The God I'm serving is mammon because I'm serving out of lack. And I decided, what if I try something that's going to scare me and trigger me? And I started calling people. But before I did, I made a decision. A decision. Decision means to cut away all other options. I had to decide, not that I was going to do the program, but that I was done being a victim and a slave to lack and money. And I had to decide that. And I'm so grateful that I got triggered in that moment and that I was listening for once. I think I didn't listen very often. But I was so hungry for it and I was so ready. And finally I decided I was done with the lack. I was done with the struggle. I was done having to see my mom struggle all the time. And I knew that God gave me a mission to do more on this planet, to be more, to think differently and act differently. And I did not want to be a victim to money ever again. I was done. The trigger truly is the transformation. So in your life, if you have something that's triggering you, whether it's a relationship or a business opportunity or something in your business or life is causing a trigger, all that's showing is that in your life, there's an opportunity to change. And if you would like help implementing and finding it and then changing it, I'm actually doing a 3-day virtual event coming up really soon. The link is in the description. You can check it out, click it, and we go live for 3 days with me where I help you pinpoint where that resistance is in your body and how to shift it in 3 days or less. So it's a phenomenal experience. If you haven't experienced it, be sure and do so if you want to learn how to find those triggers and shift them. So click the link in the description. I look forward to seeing you at that event. Was it me? No, it was each and every one of you. So we all chose to do that. No one forced you. No one made you. You chose, which is freaking awesome.